Hi, and welcome to the second Foodocracy India podcast broadcast, which I'm doing now. And let me quickly tell you what Foodocracy India is about. Foodocracy India is something which I've been planning for almost a year, and I think I've launched it finally during the lockdown. But it's hi, Rashmi. Hi, thanks so much for joining in. Um, for almost a year, I thought I wanted to do something which could help sort of highlight and bring out the stories of all the wonderful food places which are there across the country, across India, and who places which are very well loved, which could be street corners, street food places, family-run places, sweet shops, mithai shops, modern cafes, and so on. These are places which have given a lot of happiness to its customers, sometimes over generations, sometimes some of them are new, and I felt that something should be done to sort of share the story, and that's why I was thinking of this concept of Foodocracy India, play on democracy, because these are places where India eats, and I finally started it during the lockdown period, and because the idea was to sort of create a bit of a positive vibe in a situation where right now there's so much of uncertainty and despondency, to just tell our favorite food places, food people that we are with them, whether they see this or not, or whether they read this or not. And I also said that use this hashtag Foodocracy India, to share your stories on your social media in whichever format you like, whether it's photographs, videos, or narratives. I myself, being a writer, started with narratives first on the blog, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, writing little pieces about a lot of Mumbai places. Yesterday, I suddenly thought that why don't I move it into a video format, and that's why I'm using Instagram Live to sort of make it like a AV podcast, which I'm then sharing on Facebook, YouTube, and here you can see that later. Till so far, including yesterday when I spoke about Prakash, I'd been speaking about places in Mumbai, the city which has been my home for the last 20 years, and I owe so much to the food places of Mumbai for the city becoming such a wonderful home to me. And today I thought that I should shift cities and go perhaps naturally to Kolkata, or Calcutta as it was called when I was growing up. The city I've grown up in. I was not born there, but I've spent a large chunk of my life there till I moved to Mumbai, and now I've spent a bit more time in Mumbai than in Kolkata. Since I'm doing this as a podcast format, I might not be able to during the course of the talk, answer your comments, but keep commenting, and I'll try to answer towards the end. I'm trying to keep it short to about 15-20 minutes, because I'll be sharing this later. So this is the first Foodocracy India story from my end, from Kolkata, and I thought I'll take you back to about 25 odd years back to my college days, and I'm going to speak to you about a place in College Street, which is called Putiram Sweets. I spent about 5 years of my life in College Street. I did my graduation in the Presidency College, which is Presidency University now. I studied sociology honors, and after that I did my MBA next door at IISWBM, which is the Calcutta University course. So I spent about 5 years there, and I didn't really know of Putiram in the first couple of years of college, to be honest, but I did in the third year. So let me take you back to, when would that be? Third year would be about 94. So, and we are in 2000 now. So that's about 25 odd years, or 26, 25 odd years from back. And I was in sociology, and like most things I've done in life, whether it's sociology, qualitative research later, food blogging. I also practice Buddhism. In most things which I do, there seems to be more of women in it than men. I'm always a bit of a minority. So in our sociology class, also in Presidency, there were 21 of us, 18 girls and 3 of us guys. And the girls were the more meticulous ones who would attend classes, take down notes and all. The 3 of us guys didn't do that often. But so we would go to the girls and take class notes from them, and they were very kind, and then they would share it with us, and we would go and Xerox it. Much later we learned, or not later, during MBA, that Xerox is actually the name of the company and photocopying is the term. So we used to keep looking out for places where we'd get cheap photocopy, and it used to be about 50 paisa a day per page to 40 to 30. Sometimes it was notes, sometimes it was books and stuff like that. And then one day, when in 1994, 95, when we were in third year of college, one of the girls in class came and said that, there's this Xerox shop in the lane, couple of lanes behind Indian Coffee House, where you get Xerox at 40 paisa if you're doing bulk. And that was like news to our ears, because the alternative was to go and sit in class. And we had a couple of really great teachers. One was Dr. Prashant Roy, who was the head of the department. And I think he was one of those people who was really responsible to opening my mind and being what I am today. And I met him 3-4 years back, and it was so lovely to catch up with him. There was also AM, Amol Mukherjee, if I remember right. He would come from Bardhaman University, but not all classes were that interesting. So the option was to go and get cheap photocopied stuff. So we went to his shop, and a whole bunch of us, 15, 20, because not all the girls attended all the classes either. So we went and we went to go for the photocopy and stuff, and in huge bulk. So sometimes it would be college library books, sometimes class notes and stuff, and he'd give it to the guy and wait. And then just beside the photocopy shop was a sweet shop, and that's Putiram. So and we'd normally go at around after college, so 4:30 or 5 in the evening. Like I said, I was in presidency in Kolkata at that time, and one was also getting hungry then, and it was time to go home after that. So while waiting, we would go to the sweet shop. And money was really tight when we were in college, very, very tight. So my mom would give me some travel money, and whatever I saved from that, I would use for pocket money, because her logic was she was sending me tiffin from home, so I didn't need any more cash. Sometimes I'd do tuitions on the fly and make some money with that, but I think that was in B school, because my mom's funda was very clear: focus on your studies and nothing else. Anyway, coming back. So with our carefully collected coins, we'd go to Putiram, and we'd have the Radha Vallabi, and with that it would come cholar dal. Now, so for those of you who are not Bengalis, let me explain what Radha Vallabi is. So first of all, Radha comes from Radha Krishna, of course, and Vallabh is Krishna as well. I think so. And the name comes from that. And it's basically a soft, very soft, stuffed maida puri. It's like a puri, but very soft, made with maida, white flour, and in that there is a bit of a filling, like a mashed dal with a bit of spicing, soft and stuff like that. Not too hot or spicy, a bit sweet. And with that you can have aloo dum, which is like a spicy potato mix. Or in Putiram, being a sweet shop, they would give cholar dal, which is chane ka dal. And so we'd have that. And they would come and serve it on a table, like number of pieces you wanted, and it was cheap if you could afford it then. And mishti doi. Now, even those of you who are not Bengali will know that would know of mishti doi, which is probably one of the most famous desserts to come out of Bengal after Rasgulla. Orias who are here, of course, you've invented the Rasgulla as well, but that's a different format from the Bengal one, so let's not quibble about that. But mishti doi is again one of the most popular items in a Bengali sweet shop, and it's basically a sweetened yogurt. And normally it's slightly pinkish in color, because it's slightly maybe caramelized sugars added to it, or jaggery. But the one at Putiram is a rare case of a white colored mishti doi. So in the sweet shops in Kolkata, you would also get tok doi in small bars. Tok doi is regular dahi, sour. That would be white, but the mishti doi would be pinkish. But Putiram, I think, is the only sweet shop which would do white doi. And it wasn't too sweet, which at that point wasn't a problem. But as I've grown older, I can't really always handle the high levels of sweetness in Kolkata mishti. But the mishti doi has a nice balance to it. And so, last year of college happened, and then we'd go there and go there for photocopying and have kochuri, Radha Vallabi, cholar dal at Putiram, and mishti doi. And then, like I told you, I spent 2 more years at College Street at IISWBM doing my MBA. And sometimes I'd go there to Putiram on my way home with friends and so on, and have the Radha Ballabi and Cholar Dal and Mishti Doi. That was about 25 years back. I'm talking of the period between 94 to 97. So 25 years or so back. So you guys are doing me at 20. So me at 20, I couldn't find pictures because at that time we had a camera roll, and I don't think when I was 20 any pictures was taken. But with that, my Putiram story ended. I did not go to College Street back for years. I went there once to College Street in maybe 2001 or 2002, soon after we'd got married. And my wife Kenaz and I had gone to Calcutta. And I took her to College Street to show her my college presidency, which I was very proud of, a bit of my college day haunts, the bookshops, and coffee house, and so on. But I don't think we really went to Putiram because Kenaz is not much of a Mishti sweet person. And then once in 2010 or so, I had some work in Esplanade. I'd gone for some qualitative research. I'd done some focus groups in Park Circus or Esplanade. And it was Saturday. And I went to my old college, Presidency. I believe nowadays without admit cards or ID cards, you can't go in. But you could then. It was a Saturday afternoon. College was completely empty because we have half days. So it was a very surreal experience because college was empty, the structure was the same. Now it looks very polished. It almost looks like the Grand Hotel, but the structure was the same, the paint was the same, everything was the same. And I almost felt in college that day that I could certainly imagine all my friends over there. I could imagine the discussions we would have sitting in the canteen, thoughts about our future, people we had crushes on, the politics of the time, and whatnot. So there were a lot of memories coming in, a lot like that movie Cinema Paradiso, if you've seen that. And then I went to the canteen. Pramodda, who runs the canteen or ran the canteen there, he was there. I went and met him. Pramodda's canteen is no longer in Presidency, but that was a fond memory. But then my Putiram story came alive again, and I'll tell you which year. In fact, reason why I'm looking here is I've got my laptop and I want to show you something in my blog. So I'm trying to tell you the year. This was very recent. Sometimes MacBook scrolls so slowly up there. Come on, hurry up. Yep. I do write long blog posts, so there's a lot to scroll up. Yeah, so I'm talking of 2018, so it was 2 years back. I had gone to Calcutta, and I was staying in a hotel at somewhere in central Calcutta at that time. And I'd gone to give a talk at the USIS, the History Society and the United States Information Society on US and Indian food routes. So I'd gone there to give a talk on that. And the next morning, I met up with my friend Debjani Banerjee, whom I know through after the days of my blog. She works in publishing, and she's a family friend now. So she told me that she goes to College Street a lot on work, being in publishing, but she'd not tried the food over there. So I said that, come, let's go the next day, and I will take you to some of my food joints. So I'll take you on a College Street food walk. And that's what we did. So 2018, and so Debjani and I, and it was a hot Saturday afternoon, and we landed at College Street. And I didn't go to Presidency because I said, no, Pramodda, I'm not going in. Plus, without the ID card, I couldn't. But the moment I landed in College Street, suddenly, instead of being 44 or something at that point, I felt like I was 18 or 19 again, and I was full of energy, running around everywhere. And poor Debjani was very sporting, even shooting videos of me and stuff like that. But after a while, I mean, she's slightly elder to me, she sort of gave up, and she called for the car which we had, and we were trying to go around with that. But we went to the coffee house, we went to Shadin Bharat for the cabin food, which Indu Itlai had told me about. We went to Paramount and we had the sharbat, and then we went to Putiram before we finally closed at one of the cabins over there, Dilkhush, I think. So let me show you some pictures from Putiram on my blog, so you'll know what I'm talking of. Wait a minute, just wait. I'm just scrolling down. Wait, I was telling you about my college days. So this is a wait. I'm gonna flip it now and go into full nostalgia mode. Okay, so this is a picture of us in 1993 in the 175 years celebration of us at Presidency. That's me over here. Yeah. I know I look as if I've come out of a concentration camp, but I was a lot thinner then. These are some of the people in my class and my batch. Yeah, so let me scroll down because that'll also show you a bit of College Street, the bookshops. It's so crowded, and that's my teacher. I was talking of Dr. Prashant Roy a couple of years back, and it's so fantastic meeting him. That's PR. That's a legendary PR. He's retired now, but he teaches in an institute. That's me at the college. Obviously, a lot more filled out than in the picture I showed you. That's when I'd gone to my canteen, Pramodda's canteen in 2008. My God, so much of nostalgia. That was Pramodda. Any presidentian here will recognize him. That's the Indian Coffee House. Okay, I'm scrolling down. That's the pakora sandwich at Coffee House. I know this is on Paramount, but sorry on Putiram. But let me show you. That's me. That's at Shadin Bharat Hindu Hotel. Lovely place for Bengali food. There's a banana leaf food at Shadin Bharat. This is a tasty restaurant where we would come for Chinese when I was in college, and they serve it with a fork. This is the what we would call the YMCA canteen, but it's actually the Bowbajar Bayam Shomiti near the swimming pool, and we would get stew and bread. Someone was telling me about the stew recipe she liked. Well, this we would get the stew here. This is College Square, where and here we are in Putiram. Okay, and that's the thing. Like Putiram is 160 years old, and yet it's a bit of a hidden secret because people don't really go to College Street that much unless they're students or they have work. And it's 160 years old and yet not so well known outside of Kolkata or outside of people who go to that area. And that's the point at Foodocracy, what we're trying to bring out, that there's so many legendary places in India. Not all of them are 160 years old, but they do deserve our love. So this is the Mishti Doi, which I had in 2018, same white color. This is the Radha Ballabi, freshly made. The Cholar Dal, which is slightly watery over here. The Shingara and Dorbesh. So Dorbesh is a soft, squishy Bengali laddu, which is really my favorite. It's on the soft side. That's me. That's me. Like I told you, I felt as if I was 18 again that day. But when I was 18, I was thinner and I had more hair. But that's Devjani taking this picture with Radha Ballabi, Shingara, Mishti Doi, the Dorbesh. That's Putiram, the shop. Looks exactly the same as it did in 94, 95. So this could almost be one of the girls in my college in 94, 95 buying some stuff while waiting for the Xerox next door. These are a couple of people eating there. And that's Paramount, the sweet shop, the Sharbat shop I was telling you about. And oh my God, it is so good. And I must tell you about the Shingara, Shingara is Bengali for samosa. So when we were in Putiram, we never really had the Shingara. Over there, we used to have the Radha Ballabi, but at that point, I was staying at my friend Konishko's house, and his mom is very fond of Shingara. So I packed some Shingara for her from Putiram, and he tried some fresh, and it's so good. I mean, see how the crust, it is really crisp, but yet flaky. Inside there's potatoes and also chine badam, peanuts, fried peanuts, which is the heart of the Calcutta Shingara. And you can make out from the texture here that it's really flaky and crumbly. And when I took it for Kanishka's mom and auntie had it in the evening, she said, of course, Putiram Shingara is so famous, so good. So that's it. I hope you got a fair flavor of Putiram. I'm going to see if there are any comments which I'd like to answer at this point. But that's the idea about Foodocracy India, and please use the hashtag Foodocracy like democracy, so Foodocracy India, and talk about your favorite eating places across the country, whether it's street food, whether it's heritage, family run, new age. Just write about them. Let's share the positivity, and look at the story of Putiram. It's a 160-year-old place, family run, consistently doing what it's been doing for 160 years, remains as popular as it is. The food is so affordable and yet such exquisite quality. Yet, it is not that well known. You will not find that in too many lists of top 10 places in Calcutta, top 10 places of India, and this, that, and whatever. And they don't need that because they have a regular flow of customers going there. And it's in a part of the city where people don't visit that much. In fact, I used to go there simply because I was in college at that time. But there's so many such stories across India. And there are only so many which I will know. But you will know lots more. So if all of us just get together and write about it, the whole world will know about it. We will know about it. You can choose to use the Foodocracy India hashtag or not. You can choose to tag Finely Chopped or not. But the bigger thing is, let's just go out and tell the story. And these are sort of stories which I plan to bring you about Foodocracy. And I hope you are liking this podcast format. I've been doing the text before. And I'm going to do a bit more of Calcutta over the next few episodes. So there'll be a lot of nostalgia for me and perhaps for some of you over there. Okay, I've got some comments or questions right from the beginning. So let me see, answer some of those before shutting up. And this will be shared on my Instagram page, Facebook, YouTube. So you can go and watch it wherever is convenient. If you want to take an afternoon nap now, please do that. Aram se dekho. We are not going anywhere. Okay, so Khane mein kya hai says that they practice chanting as well. It's a reference to Nichiren Buddhism, Soka Gakkai, which I'm a member of. I am Rushabh. Can you share some knowledge on advertising? Maybe you DM me and ask me the question you have in mind, and I can share that. I worked in advertising for a short bit, more in market research. My wife's the advertising person really in the house. Who else? Not Rajvi said that he's tried a chicken stew recipe. It was bomb. Well, it was my mom's recipe, which I've been working on. Or are you talking about the Kerala chicken stew recipe? But, in this podcast, I was talking about the Bowbazar YMCA cabin. And that would do the Calcutta chicken stew, made famous even by Chittoda at Dakers Lane. But much cleaner place. And Rocky and Mayur, good to see you, even if briefly. Thanks so much for joining in. I have to run for a walk call, and I know it's difficult to keep track of lives. And I've figured out the technology. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to share it everywhere, and you can watch this. So once again, use the hashtag Foodocracy India and share stories about your favorite food place in India in your social media of choice, whichever format, whether it's storytelling, narrative, video, pictures. Just do it. And Hiren Mehta, samosa is bay. And Shingara is Bhalobasha. Thank you. Chillas and Zaveri Bazaar. I need to go to someday to Zaveri Bazaar and explore that. Maybe someday I'll do that with you, Hiren. Thank you and goodbye. This is Kalyan Karmakar signing off. But before that, Wendy Pandey wants to know whether I chant. Yes, I've been a member of Soka Gakkai since many years. And I think the philosophy and practice of Buddhism has really channeled me and channeled my writing. And before I sign off, how can I not show off the Kati Sattva? And I'm talking of Baby Loaf because I know that many of you are anxiously waiting to see him. And he is there. Baby Loaf is there taking an afternoon nap. He loves this thing being inside, outside. And there's Baby Loaf. And hopefully he'll watch the podcast later and get to know a bit about his father's college days or youth days in Kolkata. So this is Kalyan Karmakar signing off from one more episode of the Foodocracy India podcast. This time I took you to Kolkata, to Putiram Sweet shops in College Street. And once the lockdown gets over, do go and try them. They're not going anywhere. They've been here for 160 years. That takes, or 163, 164 now, because that was in 2018. And if you go to Putiram, for me, I would love you to have some Radha Bollabi and Cholar Dal. I would love you to have the Shada Mishti Doi. I would love you to have the Shingara. and order an extra portion for me and really relish it. Thank you.